Hello, everyone. My name is Francesca, and I am with the Arts Council of Ladysmith and District. I am here today on the traditional territory of the Stimulus First Nations here in Ladysmith, BC, on Vancouver Island. And I am really excited today because we are going to be doing an interview with the playwright of the upcoming production, The Nighthawks, which will be performed at the Cedar Community Hall. This is a partnership with the Yellow Point Drama Group and the Arts Council of Ladysmith and District. Michelle Deines is the winner of the 2019 BC playwriting competition, and we are very excited to be putting on her play for the very first time. This will be the world premiere starting on September 30th to October 16th. Please join me in welcoming Michelle, who will be joining us from Vancouver.
Hi everyone, my name is Michelle Deines and I'm a writer and an instructor. I work at Capilano University in North Vancouver and I'm calling in today from East Van from Vancouver.
What inspired you to write The Nighthawks? And if you could also include a little bit about what The Nighthawks is actually about.
The Nighthawks is basically about two siblings, so about Vicky and Roger, and their elderly father has just passed away, and they are kind of the course of the play is told in a series of present day scenes but also flashbacks, and it's about them essentially kind of coming to terms with the death of their father, but also a rift that has grown between the two of them. And actually, I mean, it's kind of inspired by true events, about some difficulties that happened in my family when my grandmother passed away. And so it's not, the events that are in the play aren't real, but kind of my idea when I wrote it was I wanted, in a way, to give the characters a chance to connect that maybe they didn't have in real life or didn't have at the time that all those things happened. And also it was kind of based on like a what if premise, like what if somebody actually tried to do this. So the kind of the main plot is started when the character of Vicky illegally exhumes her father's ashes because she wants to scatter them in his hometown in Alberta, where he said he always wanted to return to. So that was kind of my idea, is like, what if someone actually did that because they're so determined to fulfill their parents' dying wish. And so that's where the play came from and what it's about.
And what was the process for the Nighthawks? What did you, because I'm assuming, maybe things were workshopped, prior to it actually coming to the point where we're actually going to be putting it on for people to come and actually see it live. Can you just talk to us a little bit about the process that you've kind of gone through with this production?
Yeah, it's been over a few years actually. So I wrote it on my own and then I self-produced a workshop. So I got a grant, I think from the city of Vancouver, and we did like a 2 or 3 day workshop with actors and a director, and then did a read through of it. A couple years later, I actually did a workshop with Theatre One in Nanaimo. So I went over there and did a read through with that company. And both of those workshops sort of elicited changes. Like there was great discussions about the play, and then for me, I did, got ideas to develop the play from it. And then also when I won the contest with Yellow Point, part of that was also that I would work with a dramaturg. And so that was delayed, but eventually, basically, I guess it was this spring. So Michael Armstrong, who I believe is directing the production, he had read the script and had sent me a whole bunch of notes. And so I went back to those and kind of looked through the notes and then did another redraft. So it's been like a fairly extended process. Part of that is a delay of the pandemic, but yeah, I would say that's having it read by actors is really the best way, in my experience, for plays to get developed. But that was the experience with this play.
What are some of the challenges of working through a play that has never been performed before?
I mean, well, I haven't been part of the rehearsal process. The biggest reason is because of distance. So it's just not really practical for me to get over to be part of the rehearsal process. I did speak with Armando of Yellow Point, and he is building the set. And so part of the first scene, the characters actually go into a grave. And so he said that has been really challenging. And I knew that it would be when I wrote it, but I was like, it doesn't have to be realistic. I feel like this could work. So, I mean, I think because I've been actually a bit removed from the rehearsal process, I just haven't been a part of that. Um, but I would say, when it's a new play, I've been writing plays long enough now that what I've come to try to do is to like trust the audience's imagination and trust that they will kind of meet you there. Like I teach actually a playwriting class, part of a team of teachers at CAP, and I tell the students, you trust the intelligence of your audience. It's like Julie Taymor, who is a director. She directed Frida. She directed The Lion King, the stage version of The Lion King. And she said in the theater, the audience knows they're in the theater and they finish the sentences with you. And so that's kind of what I wanted to do with this play, because in some ways it's non-realistic. We jump around in time. We see a ghost or a dream character. So my hope is that the audience will finish the sentences with me, that they'll kind of they'll see what I'm doing and meet me there. But it is hard. Like you don't totally know until it happens. Although I did get some good responses when we did the read throughs. So like when we did the read through in Nanaimo, we actually had a pretty sizable audience. Like I think about 30 or 40 people came. And I remember one woman said, I feel like I was watching my life in this. And that was amazing to me, that somebody connected with the script that way. So that's my hope, is that yeah, the audience, even though it is kind of non-realistic and you're sort of throwing it out there and you don't know how it will work, but that the audience will still connect with it some way.
What are you looking forward to with the actual stage production of your play?
Well, I'm really excited to see how the Michael and Armando and the whole team that will be part of that. I'm excited to see how um, they're handling like the different aspects, sort of the technical aspects, like the jumping through time and location. But I'm also just excited to hear the audience respond. I hope parts of the script are quite funny. So even though it's dealing with at times very sad subject matter, it's about grief and loss, but parts of it are also meant to be very funny. So my hope, I do, it's kind of, there's something very cool about writing something and then you're not sure it's working and then you hear an audience respond to it. That's very satisfying. So that's what I'm looking forward to, is kind of hearing the audience response, and hopefully they'll connect with it too.
What's next for you? What are you currently working on? I know you're heading back to going back to teaching now, but is there other things on the horizon for your own work?
Yeah, going back to teaching, so it's been kind of like nose to the grindstone the last couple weeks, but I'm actually working on a play for my school. So I'm doing another adaptation. I'm doing an adaptation called Lost in Wonderland, which is adapted from Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. We as a faculty, we thought of Alice in Wonderland, but we all wanted a modern day adaptation, and so they were like, Michelle, why don't you do it? But it's actually been really fun. So I still have another draft that I want to do for that, but we've got a cast assembled, and another faculty member is directing it. We'll be performing that in November. So that's kind of my big creative project for the fall, which I'm really excited about.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Michelle. I really appreciate you taking the time to having a chat with us, and we look forward to seeing what you come up with in the future. And we're really excited to be able to have this opportunity to put on your production.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been great talking to you, Francesca.